Good morning, and welcome to the 101st Emmanuel College Commencement. Prior to today's event, we would like to advise all our guests that if anyone is in need of assistance, there are campus safety officers and ushers located throughout the tent. Additionally, please note that emergency exits to the tent are located directly in front of me at the main entrance to the tent and to my right. In the event of an emergency, please follow the directions of campus safety officers and ushers. Restrooms are located through the Wilkins Science Center and Eisner Administration Building, outside the main tent entrance, straight ahead. Restrooms are also located in the Cushing Library, outside the tent, to my right. We also ask that everyone keep the aisles clear, remain seated during the ceremony, and hold all applause until the end of the degree presentations. Pictures for each graduate will be taken by a professional photographer. Instructions for obtaining the photographs are on the Emmanuel website. Finally, we ask that everyone silence all electronic devices. Again, welcome to Emmanuel College Commencement and enjoy the ceremony. Thank you for your time and attention.
Okay, we can do Nightingale. I want to do Nightingale. Fine. Wait for the repeat. Okay. Yes, repeat? Yeah. Marina, start. Just one repeat. Yeah, this one. Oh, okay. Mom? Great. Yeah, so before F, right?
Good morning. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. My name is Dr. Joseph Kurtz, and I am the Provost and Chief Academic Officer at Emmanuel College. I am honored to announce that Emmanuel's 101st Commencement Exercises are now open. Please stand while Lauren Garcia, class of 2023, sings the national anthem. I will then ask you to please remain standing for the invocation. The invocation will be read by Doris Griffith, Associate Dean of Student Learning and Success, in place of President Emerita Sister Janet Eisner, who unfortunately could not join us today. And now for our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets regular, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Good afternoon. Let's just take a moment to center ourselves as we enter into God's grace. Good God of St. Julie, foundress of the Sisters of Notre Dame de Namur, we thank you for the gift of our graduates, the Emmanuel College class of 2023. Today, we celebrate their academic achievements, their gift of leadership, their perseverance during the pandemic, and their ongoing outreach to those in need. God of love, we thank you for your parents, extended families, friends, faculty, and staff who have mentored, inspired, encouraged, and supported our graduates throughout their time at Emmanuel. May our graduates always have grateful hearts for those who have enabled them to thrive academically, emotionally, and spiritually. God of wisdom, we ask you to bless our graduates with the integrity and courage to further the Emmanuel mission and the charism of the Sisters of Notre Dame de Namur. We are called to work for what is right and just in order to bring about social structures that are inclusive, non-discriminatory, and where all have a voice. St. Julie said, we must have courage in the century we live in. Great souls are needed, souls having the interests of God at heart. May our graduates be those souls, those great souls. God of hope, as our graduates go forth, we ask you to bless each one with a positive outlook, a confident spirit, and a joyful heart so that they may bring light to our world. May they be open to the good God of St. Julie to guide and accompany them each and every day. We ask this through Emmanuel, our God with us. Amen.
Please be seated. President Mary Kay Boyd, members of the Board of Trustees, distinguished guests, members of the administration, faculty and staff, alumni, relatives and friends of the graduates, and most especially the members of the class of 2023, I welcome you again to Emmanuel College's 101st Commencement Exercises. In welcoming all of you, I want to acknowledge in a special way the hard work, sacrifice, encouragement, and support of family and friends who have helped to bring each graduate to the fulfillment and achievement we celebrate today. With the degrees conferred today, the total number of degrees awarded by Emmanuel College since 1923 will be more than 25,500. I am now pleased to introduce our student speakers. Madeline Johnson and Rocio Hernandez Chavez, members of the class of 2023, will speak on behalf of today's graduates.
Good morning, President Boyd, members of the Board of Trustees, esteemed faculty and staff, family, friends, and the distinguished Emmanuel College class of 2023. It is a privilege for me to address you all today as we finally cross the finish line and receive the degrees we have worked tirelessly for. I feel that I offer a unique perspective in addressing all of the graduates here today, because while I am receiving my master's degree, just 364 days ago, I was sitting right where the undergraduates are currently sitting, before starting my master's in the MED program at Emmanuel here. It takes a steadfast determination to complete a degree, and all of you should be very proud of your efforts. It is no surprise we hold ourselves to such high standards. We attend Emmanuel College, an institution that is known for having students and alumni achieve anything that they put their minds to. We attend a school in a city of champions, a city that is Boston strong, and we are 1.7 miles away from the finish line of the Boston Marathon, where people actively choose to run 26.2 miles on their day off of work for fun. It is no wonder we are driven to push ourselves to be our best, meet our goals, and celebrate victories. It is in our nature as we live within the heart of Boston. It is a beautiful thing to be young and ambitious. I know once I graduated from undergrad, I was in an all-out sprint towards all of my ambitions at the finish line, ready to race toward my next adventure. However, I quickly learned that while you may have the motivation to hit the ground running, everything in life also requires balance, or else you end up burning yourself out. A brisk walk has proven to be healthier than a continuous, full-blown sprint. We can be so focused on hitting that 26.2-mile marathon mark that we can forget to congratulate ourselves for hitting the 5, 10, and 20-mile marks along the way. I wasn't looking around to see where I was at with my journey, just that I had this ultimate goal to push myself towards. This was great until it wasn't. In November of 2022, I lost 2 of my close family members. My Uncle Joe and my Uncle Paul were 2 of my unwavering supporters, cheering me on while I chased anything I dreamed of throughout my life. These 2 losses alone stood to be crushing blows, but within the span of 2 weeks, it truly knocked my entire world off of its axis. As the ground shook, my marathon came to a halt. When the world knocks you off your feet after running for so long, eventually tripping and falling flat on your face prompts a solemn evaluation of where you've ended up. I felt like for me, the marathon was over. Everyone had packed up and gone home, and I was walking alone on an empty route, unsure of where I was heading next. This is an inevitable part of life for all of us at some point, but it is a beautiful opportunity for discovery. This uncomfortable feeling means you've outgrown your current circumstances. When you find yourself in this place, take this time to be still and really think about where you want to go next. Go there. If that place doesn't work, there's peace in knowing that you can pick up and try another route. Don't let the discomfort of growth trick you into thinking that you are regressing. Walter Elliott once said, "Perseverance is not a long race. It is many short races, one after the other." Today, you are crossing the finish line, but also at the starting line of the rest of your life. So slow down. You are still so young, and there is so much left to experience. There are so many people you have yet to meet, places to discover, and hearts to touch. There is so much laughter, smiles, and tears left. No matter where you are in life, keep going and do not give up. Even though your time at Emmanuel has come to a close, you still have a lifetime of incredible adventure ahead of you. But don't forget to pause and look around once in a while, because it's easy to become so preoccupied with the future that we forget that today is what we dreamed of so many years ago. Live your life for you and expect more out of yourself. But most importantly, don't live your life striving to fulfill the expectations of others. Life is short and the world is wide. Go out there and show them what you are truly made of. Congratulations, class of 2023. Go Saints!
Good morning, President Mary Boyd, honorary guest Dr. Jim O'Connell, members of the Board of Trustees, esteemed faculty, staff, friends, family, shout out to mine, and of course, my beloved Emmanuel College class of 2023. First off, I would like to say that it is a real pleasure and I feel beyond honored to be giving the commencement speech on behalf of my fellow graduate friends. Today, we're gathered under this beautiful tent to share the joy and satisfaction of completing a degree, yes, but most importantly, to commemorate the end of the life-altering, unforgettable, incredible journey that was our undergraduate career. It is truly a shame that only the people on the podium get this view. As I stand here looking at the crowd, I'm met with a heartwarming sight. Although this alphabetical order complicates things a bit, I would like you to take a look around and spot some of those kind, familiar faces that embarked on this journey alongside you. However, the merit is solely yours, so I ask you to be reflective on your own achievements. Recall all of those late-night muddy runs that fueled assignments. Think of the moment when you successfully landed that internship after writing dozens of cover letters. Remember the fulfillment of running your first club event. Reminisce the satisfaction of getting your honor society course. But most importantly, cherish and embrace the joy of realizing that you've made lifelong friends. You all did that. Emmanuel College is often described as this truly intentional place where people open doors for each other and donate meal swipes. We might genuinely have the most welcoming college community campus anyone could have. Whether you're waiting in line at the mailroom or at the grill station in the dining hall, you will always see students striking up a conversation with Evelyn or Jose. This is the inclusivity that Emmanuel was built upon. We might be in the heart of Boston, but you're all the heart of this community. Writing this was daunting, almost as daunting as stepping foot on the administration building on the first day of classes back in the fall of 2019. There's this implicit burden associated with graduation celebrations as the worry of what the future might hold lurks around the corner. However, I find comfort in reminding myself that just like we overcame the past 4 years with little to no expectation of how college life would unfold, we will tackle the years to come with the same brave spirit. As the famous and iconic and somewhat familiar Little Remy once said in Ratatouille, the only predictable thing about life is its unpredictability. And the little rodent is right. He is. Do not dwell on what tomorrow will bring. As we travel on our path in life, it will become clearer that when unpredictability presents itself, we develop a deeper sense of who we are. By diving into the unknown, we expose ourselves to new experiences and possibilities that inspires us. This ceremony marks the end of an academic process, but none of us are done learning today. I am confident that with courage, each one of us will face what's to come head-on and achieve nothing short of greatness. Emmanuel College instilled in us a dedication to compassionate service, informed citizenship, and critical thinking. As for myself, my Emmanuel experience ignited the spark that now drives my passion to pursue a career in higher education. Similarly, I have no doubt in my mind that our Saints' essence enables us to become inspiring, motivated, and knowledgeable professionals in whatever area we choose to pursue once we step out of the gates of 400th of Fenway. I am extremely proud of all of you, and I wish you each the best of luck in all of your future endeavors. Congratulations, Saints, class of 2023.
Thank you, Madeline and Rocio. I am pleased to introduce Dr. Mary Boyd, who last month was formally inaugurated as the 13th president of Emmanuel College. Drawing on her decades of experience in higher education leadership, President Boyd is advancing Emmanuel as an engine of excellence and empowerment in its second century, as well as a model of authentic care, inclusion, and belonging. Dr. Boyd will now address the graduates.
Members of the Board of Trustees, distinguished guests, and most especially parents, grandparents, spouses, and families of our graduates, what an honor it is to welcome you to Emmanuel College and to join with you in celebrating the achievement, spirits, and immense promise of the class of 2023. Graduates, in a short while, I will have the great privilege of participating for my very first time in handing an Emmanuel College diploma to each of you and shaking your hand or giving you a fist bump, whatever you want, I got you. Among you are students from our graduate and professional programs who have fulfilled the requirements for master's degree in business, management, education, and nursing, along with our students who have completed their RN to BSN program in nursing. It's just a few short steps across the commencement stage to receive your degree, but I know they are the final steps in an extensive journey of discovery, collaboration, and hard work. For many of you, the demands of coursework have been carefully balanced with full-time jobs and family responsibilities. That's no small feat. Now, on this day of beginnings, for that is what commencement truly is, I wish you every success as you put your enhanced knowledge and skills to work, and as you seek to make a positive difference to your students, your patients, and your professions. To the students graduating from our traditional full-time undergraduate program, congratulations on this much anticipated day. What an honor it has been to come to know you over the past year, your final year of undergraduate, and my first as president. From the start, you showed such generous warmth and welcome, an eagerness to engage, and a willingness to share what you love about Emmanuel. It was a joy to cheer you on as you competed with superb athleticism and heart on Roberto Clemente Field, Andy Yosinoff Court, and other venues as well. You were so deeply impressive in your senior distinction in the field presentations, in your theater performances, in your singing and dancing talents, in your commitment to serving others, and in your desire to cultivate our community's strong sense of belonging. And what a pleasure it has been to just be with you at events such as Family Weekend, the Christmas tree lighting, and last month's campus fair and community celebration on the Quad. Moments like these mean more to a new president than you could ever imagine. So before you go, thank you. Thank you for your amazing gifts, and above all, for your deep goodness and kindness. Your arrival on campus in the fall of 2019 coincided with the excitement of Emmanuel's centennial celebration. And later that academic year, we all know what happened. COVID-19 broke out across the US and indeed across the globe. This prompted a switch to remote learning in the middle of the semester. As you confronted unforeseen challenges and uncertainties, you drew strength from your connections with one another. And what is more, you demonstrated the versatility and perseverance that have come to characterize you as a class and that will serve you well no matter what the future may bring. Before, during, and after the pandemic, right up to this very moment, our faculty and staff have been right there with you, shining a light on your talents and potential, offering mentorship and wisdom, and opening pathways to careers and possibilities perhaps you had never dreamed of. Graduates, I invite you now to stand and applaud our faculty and staff for their tireless devotion to you and your success. At this time, I would like to recognize several individual faculty members in a particular way, beginning with this year's 2 faculty award recipients. Dr. Lisa Stepansky, Associate Dean of Humanities and Social Sciences and Professor of English. Would you please come forward? The Faculty Excellence in Service to the Community Award was established in 2016 in memory of Professor Christine Jaworek-Lopes. The award annually recognizes a faculty member whose actions embody the commitment to service that is at the core of Emmanuel's mission. Dr. Stepansky, we are pleased to recognize you as our 2023 awardee in view of your standout efforts to enrich Emmanuel's whole life student educational experience and to uplift our entire college community. Congratulations, Dr. Stepansky. Dr. Derek Lau, Lecturer of Biology, would you please come forward? Each year, the Faculty Excellence in Teaching Award recognizes a professor who has demonstrated exceptional passion for teaching, commitment to their discipline, and dedication to their students' academic success. Dr. Lau, in celebration of your remarkable devotion to your students and to your teaching vocation, we honor you as the recipient of the 2023 Faculty Excellence in Teaching Award. I would now like to recognize a long-serving professor who is retiring this year. Kathleen Souls, Professor of Art and alumna. Professor of Art and alumna of the class of 1973. Professor Souls, since 1988, you have been helping Emmanuel students grow as skilled and expressive artists while developing the talent, resources, and caliber of the college's art department across all media. Your inspired teaching, your generous willingness to serve on an array of college committees, and your outstanding accomplishment as an artist in your own right have earned you the respect and affection of your colleagues and generations of graduates. With gratitude, the college now confers upon you the title of Professor Emerita of Art. Congratulations. And although she could not be with us today, I want to recognize that the college has granted emeritus status to former professor of chemistry and associate dean of natural sciences, Faina Rivkin. In addition to her above and beyond commitment to her students, Dr. Rivkin, during her tenure, played a significant role in the dramatic growth of the college's programs in science, education, and research, while contributing to the vibrancy of many aspects of college life. Please join me in applauding Dr. Rivkin for her 20 years of distinguished service. Class of 2023, you are inheriting a world in flux. And even a brief scan of headlines suggests that significant forces are at work in the spheres of economics, geopolitics, technology, and culture, and in the ways we live and work. In the years and decades ahead, issues and opportunities will arise for which society will need to depend on those who can see the present in a broad historical context and who have a habit of questioning assumptions, of generating original ideas and approaches, and of making informed and ethical decisions rooted in objective analysis of facts and data. Class of 2023, you have shown that you have the skill and the will to become leaders our world needs most. At Emmanuel, you have sharpened your ability to think with precision and nuance, and to speak, write, and present with clarity and force. You have explored broad domains of knowledge while gaining specialized expertise in your chosen field. And you have complemented your studies with high-impact internships, practica, and other field experiences throughout Boston, as well as hands-on research conducted in collaboration with our faculty. In other words, you are ready. And businesses, institutions, and nonprofits are taking note. Already, many of you have accepted full-time positions with organizations including Brigham and Women's Hospital, Ernst & Young, Medtronic, PwC, Publicis Sapient, and TD Bank, as well as the Walt Disney Company's National Internship Program. Others have been admitted to graduate programs at institutions including Boston College, Harvard University, New York University, the United Nations Institute for Training and Research, and the University of Massachusetts Medical School. Still others have committed to service with the Peace Corps and Teach for America. You are off to a brilliant start. Going forward, as the world of work continues to evolve and as new paradigms replace old, please always remember that you have an Emmanuel College education and you are ready. Students, today is May 13th, which, as it happens, is the feast day of Saint Julie Billiard. It was in 1804 that Saint Julie, along with Françoise Blanc de Bourdon, co-founded the Sisters of Notre-Dame de Namur. 219 years later, Saint Julie's faith-filled vision continues to flourish here at Emmanuel. It is evident in our commitment to excellence in teaching, learning, scholarship, and research, and it is manifest in a special way in the kindness, inclusion, and mutual support that unites our community. Last October, an 8-person team of outside accreditation evaluators visited campus and praised what they described as our deep-seated culture of care. This, they said, is our superpower. Students, you have both experienced and contributed to the Emmanuel spirit during your time here. Now I urge you, go forth and create 1,000 Emmanuels. Bring goodness, compassion, and service into your corporations, into your labs and startups, into your classrooms and hospitals, into your communities, and most especially, into your homes. It is through you that the charism of the Sisters of Notre-Dame de Namur and the values of Emmanuel will radiate into our broader society. For inspiration, you need look no further than today's honorary degree recipient, Mary Jo Rogers, and our commencement speaker, Dr. James O'Connell, both of whom you'll be hearing from in just a moment. And as you bear the light of Emmanuel to others, please, please remember to care for yourself. You can only give what you have, so it's vital to make time for you and create conditions for a life of grace, fulfillment, and joy. By caring for yourself, you will only enhance your capacity to care for others. Students, we will miss your daily presence, but look forward to seeing you back here for Alumni Weekend. You can participate in activities every year at Alumni Weekend, along with homecoming, career panels, and many other professional, artistic, and social gatherings. Please continue to participate in the life of the college, and remember, you always have a home here in the heart of Boston, and you will always be the heart of Emmanuel. Class of 2023, on this day of beginnings, I wish you heartfelt congratulations and blessings. On behalf of the Board of Trustees, faculty, staff, and the entire Emmanuel community, I wish you Godspeed and pray that Emmanuel, our God with us, may remain with you forever. Thank you.
Thank you, President Boyd. The college is pleased to confer an honorary doctorate of humane letters on Mary Jo Rogers of the Emmanuel class of 1977. The citation and conferral will be read by Margaret McKenna, an alumna of the class of 1983 and chair of the college's Board of Trustees. Bestowing the hood will be President Boyd and Nancy Klanuski, member of the Board of Trustees. Mary Jo, would you please come forward?
Mary Jo Skayhan Rogers, you have responded to life's gifts by turning your life into a gift for others. From your Emmanuel College education to your recovery from stage 4 melanoma, you have channeled your gratitude into a commitment to paying it forward, bringing profound and ongoing benefits to our college community and to people around the world. Growing up in Baltimore, you hoped one day to enroll at Emmanuel. The prospect seemed remote until the day a letter arrived from the college offering scholarship assistance. It was a turning point, and you have expressed your thanks in myriad ways. Since your graduation in 1977, you have stayed active and engaged as an alumna, most recently serving for 6 years on the college's Board of Trustees. In addition, you, along with your husband Brian, have generously established an endowed scholarship. Since 2017, the Mary Jo Skayhan Rogers Scholarship has aided 44 students in realizing their dream of an Emmanuel education. And we have 2 of those scholars graduating today. In 2011, after you and Brian had raised your 3 children, life took a devastating turn when you developed melanoma, the deadliest type of skin cancer. With few treatment options available, you enrolled in an experimental immunotherapy clinical trial that proved effective and eventually set you free of the disease. The experience has inspired you to share your strength and innate positivity with others on their cancer journey. In addition, you have become a passionate supporter of the Melanoma Research Alliance, and you and Brian have established a professorship in cancer immunology at Johns Hopkins University. Mary Jo, your life exemplifies the power of gratitude and of giving back. For the healing and hope you have brought to melanoma patients everywhere, for your dedication to educational opportunity, and for your unwavering love of Emmanuel, the college is privileged to confer on you the degree of Doctor of Humane Letters, honoris causa. By virtue of the powers delegated to Emmanuel College by the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, and on behalf of the Board of Trustees of Emmanuel College, I confer upon Mary Jo Skayhan Rogers the degree of Doctor of Humane Letters, honoris causa, with all the rights and privileges that pertain thereto. Congratulations.
President Boyd, fellow trustees, and all members of the Emmanuel community, I am incredibly grateful to be here with you today and to receive this honorary degree from an institution I love so much. It is a tremendous honor and has also required much less effort than my original degree in 1977. Emmanuel has had a very special place in my heart since I first came to campus in 1973. The excellent education I received here has had a huge impact on my life, and I am ever grateful for the friends I have made, many of whom are still a big part of my life, and for the opportunity to have served on the board for the past 6 years. Emmanuel taught me a lot about my faith, perseverance, and helping others. If it wasn't for the scholarship that I received, I could never have been a student here. My husband and I are happy to have endowed a scholarship fund to help students who, like me, would otherwise have been unable to enroll or to stay enrolled at Emmanuel. Graduates of the class of 2023, I wish you all great success. Go confidently toward your dream. Stay in touch with Emmanuel. Get involved in the Alumni Association and share your good fortune in whatever form it may come with the Emmanuel students of tomorrow. Thank you very much. Thank you.
The college is pleased to read a citation for today's commencement speaker, Dr. James O'Connell, who was awarded an honorary degree by Emmanuel in 2007. The citation will be read by Emmanuel College trustee William F. Kennedy, Jr. Dr. O'Connell, will you please come forward?
Good afternoon. Dr. James O'Connell, over nearly 4 decades, you have ministered to countless people experiencing homelessness, providing them with superb medical care and affirming their inherent humanity and infinite dignity. Throughout our Boston community and far beyond, you offer a quintessential example of devotion to those living in the often forgotten corners of our modern society. In the mid-1980s, after completing Harvard Medical School and your residency at the Massachusetts General Hospital, you were poised for a career in oncology when you agreed to devote 1 year to the new Boston Healthcare for the Homeless program. When that year ended, you stayed, and over time, built the program into one of the nation's largest and most comprehensive healthcare network for unhoused people. Today, in addition to your administrative duties, you continue to travel each week in a community outreach van, bringing medicine, food, and support to individuals living on the streets or in shelters. Many of you have known for years and called by name. You know that for especially displaced persons, the path to health and wholeness begins with trust, respect, and authentic care for the whole person. Throughout your journal articles, books, and teaching, you have cast a bright light on the challenges and complexities of delivering effective medical care to homeless people. In doing so, you have pioneered a new body of medical knowledge and best practices that has enriched the education of current and future healthcare providers around the world. Dr. O'Connell, you epitomize the value of professional excellence and true love of neighbor that lie at the heart of Emmanuel's Catholic educational mission. We are moved by your presence and privileged to welcome to the commencement stage a physician who, with a kind and humble spirit, has done so much to heal others in body, mind, and soul. Dr. James O'Connell.
Members of Emmanuel's class of 2023, I am pleased to present your commencement speaker, Dr. James O'Connell.
Just in case you were wondering, that's exquisitely embarrassing to do. First of all, to Bill, thank you so much. Bill Kennedy has been a huge support to myself and to so many of us in Boston for so many years. And Bill, there's just no words to thank you enough. Thank you. President Boyd, Margaret McKenna, and distinguished members of the board, Jack McKinnon, who I know, honorary degree recipient, Mary Jo, congratulations. Faculty and administrators, but mostly proud parents and family, friends, and of course, especially you, the class of 2023. I'm deeply grateful and humbled to be your speaker today and hope I can live up to what I feel is already a big celebration. So I have one selfish thing to step aside, if you will allow me, but I grew up in Newport, Rhode Island, not so very far from here. And I would be remiss if I didn't give a shout out to Ryan Cranston. My brother Patrick, wherever you are, Ryan, was your guidance counselor in high school, and I remember he talked to you about how much he loved Emmanuel, and now he is so thrilled that you are with your parents, Caroline and Jim, and getting a degree here today. So from another Newporter, congratulations, Ryan. I can't tell you how astonished we were in early April when Dr. Boyd, Professor McDonald, and several students came to our program down in the South End and spent a day touring our program and sitting and talking with us. We are sort of used to living in sort of blissful obscurity, and a visit from a distinguished college president and a really phenomenal nursing professor, along with the students, was just a real honor for us. And I wanted to say thank you to the students, and to Dr. Boyd and Professor McDonald. You guys are amazing. But in preparation for this morning, actually many years ago I've looked at this, I spent some time wondering, about what makes a memorable graduation speech. I don't remember mine, and that has haunted me ever since. So I looked up some speeches, and I found one in particular that I thought you might enjoy. Okay? So at the commencement of a very prominent Ivy League college, Albert Einstein was the speaker. And he was feeling a little testy that morning, and he stood up and he said, "I do not have any particular thoughts to share with you today, so I wish you all the success in the world." And then he sat down. And after a pregnant pause, the student body erupted in a thunderous applause in gratefulness. So I was going to ask your indulgence today, maybe not to be that short, but to give me about 10 minutes just to share with you some of my own thoughts. So when you look back on a life journey, there's a tendency to think of everything as a straight line, knowing where you were going. And I think I'm here, if anything, today to assure you that that's not the way life works. So don't believe that. We all, and believe me this, we all have many zigs and zags, failures and successes, fits and starts, and joys and sorrows. And let me offer a few kind of humbling, if not humiliating, examples from my own life. So during my 4 years in college, tumultuous years in college, and in deference to Dr. Souls, I was in college from 1966 to 1970. So it was the time when the civil rights and the civil liberties movements were fomenting. The Vietnam War raged. Martin Luther King Jr. and Robert Kennedy were assassinated during my college years, and a man even walked on the moon. So in the days before our graduation, and we don't do the math on how long ago that was, 4 students were shot to death on the campus of Kent State University when they were protesting the US invasion of Cambodia. And there was an explosion of nationwide protests after that, and all of the joy around our graduation was consumed by the turmoil in the country. Our country at the time, and I'm thinking back so clearly, was utterly divided. It seemed like hopelessly divided. And it was difficult not to become disillusioned as students graduating. And then it became very difficult to figure, where do we fit into the world? And I share this with you because there are similarities to what's going on today that I think we have to really look at our divided world and find common ground. So as we struggled to fit in, I can share with you a little bit of the ensuing years because it was basically a search for meaning and a search for passion. I remember I crossed the Atlantic and got a theology degree at Cambridge University. I then gave up the rain and drizzle in England and found sun and joy teaching high school in Hawaii for a couple of years. And then I briefly began some doctoral studies in political philosophy with a hero of mine named Hannah Arendt. But soon after I arrived in New York City at the New School, she became very sick and was dead within a few months. So I retreated at that point back, and I ran a restaurant back in Newport for the next year. It was a restaurant where I had spent most of my summers working and earning my keep. And then with several of my friends, all of us refugees from the 60s, as we called ourselves, bought an old barn in Smuggler's Notch up in Vermont, and we lived there for a year or two, just having friends over and learning how to bake bread and learning how to ski. So eventually, I spent a couple of intense years at Brown while I was bartending at night, doing all the pre-medical courses that I had avoided assiduously when I was at Notre Dame. So, that whole journey, which encapsulated about a decade, it was really, for me, fascinating. But at the age of almost 31, I was nearing 31, I landed finally in medical school, just down Avenue Pasteur, just at the other end of Avenue Pasteur. And I thought back, and I truly cherished those years of uncertainty And I wanted to sort of encourage you to think about, for those of you who are not yet sure what you want to do, there's a lot to be learned with uncertainty. The true gift of those years, if I think back, was time. I had time to read, time to travel, time to spend with friends, time to discern, time to explore, and mostly time to pay attention to those around me and learn to care. So about 7 years after that, now I'm 37 years old, I was finishing my residency, as Mr. Kennedy pointed out, at Mass General. Knew what I wanted to do. I was going to become an oncologist. But I was kind of hoodwinked by two of my mentors who convinced me to take a year and spend with this new program for homeless people, to take care of homeless people in Boston. So I didn't want any more detours on my life journey, but I couldn't say no. And I thought of this as like a year of urban Peace Corps, a year of giving back, and maybe solving my late 60s conscience, which still lingered on. And so I did that. And I just want to share with you, because when we were talking to the students who have been working in what we call the foot clinic in our program, I wanted to share you something about what I had to unlearn and learn when I just started. So picture this, I'm finishing 4 years of medical school, 3 years of residency. My last job at Mass General was to be the senior medicine resident running the ICU, the intensive care unit. So I kept thinking, how hard can it be to go down to a shelter and take care of a shelter clinic? Because I think, as many of you may know, our egos get unbelievably, in fact, hard to fit in this tent by the time we finish medical school and residency. So I walked down to Pine Street Inn, which was about 6 blocks away, and walked in thinking that, finally there's a doctor going to be working in the clinic. And I walked in and I found this really wonderful but really fierce group of nurses, led by a nurse named Barbara McGinnis, who looked at me like I was a foreigner. And they sat me down and they explained to me that I had learned everything wrong. That in medical school and residency, we learned to be fast, to come in and ask somebody what their chief complaint is, make a diagnosis, come up with a prescription, and move on rapidly to the next room. And Barbara pointed out that nothing in the lives of a homeless person will change unless you take the time to earn their trust. And you know what the nurses did, which completely fascinated me, is they had, in the middle of this 700-bed shelter, they had in the clinic a perimeter where they would invite people in and they would soak their feet. And so Barbara took away my stethoscope, all my medical stuff, and said, if you really want to learn how to take care of homeless people, for the next 2 months you can soak feet. And I can never forget thinking, I went home that night thinking how I had chosen the wrong place to be. But one, it was incredibly smelly and pretty difficult. But over the next week or two, I started to realize the brilliance of what the nurses were doing. They were flipping the power structure. So we were sitting at the feet of those we're serving. They were doing something that was comforting and practical to someone who had been walking around all day. And they would do things like they would always invite people in by their name. Mr. Williams, please come in. Can we soak your feet? And I came to the realization that most homeless people spend their days without anyone ever saying their name, certainly not saying their name with any dignity. And the nurses brilliantly invited people into that world. And I remember Barbara gave me the most difficult person of all to soak his feet. His feet were so swollen it required 2 buckets, 1 for each foot. And I had seen him millions of times in the emergency room at Mass General. And we had considered him, he had suffered from a terrible type of paranoid schizophrenia, a nice person, but he was utterly resistant to doing anything we asked him to do. So in the chart, we had said he was a treatment-resistant, paranoid schizophrenic. And after about a month of soaking his feet, he never said anything to me, he just looked down at me. He finally looked at me and he said, hey, thought you were supposed to be a doctor. And I realized that the whole thing had flipped on me, because here I am lighting up because no one in the shelter had yet called me doctor. So I said, yeah, I am. And then he looks and he says, well, what the hell are you doing soaking feet? And I didn't know what to say, but I just remember looking over at Barbara and the nurses, and I said, I don't know, but I do whatever those nurses tell me to do. And interestingly, he had been coming to the shelter for years, and he did exactly what the nurses told him to do. So we became bonded. And about a week after that, he asked me for some medicine to help him sleep. And then, within about a month after that, he was taking all the medicines we had for years, 25 years at Mass General's emergency room, tried to get him to take. And now he was taking them. He got on to a recovery home and a rest home and did really well. And I had to realize that here are the nurses in this almost biblically symbolic way, inviting people into a world on their terms, not on our terms. And I think that's what has informed our program ever since. And for those of you students who have come to our foot clinic at St. Francis House, I am sure you agree with me, and I want to be sure to say thank you for allowing us to perpetuate that. To make a long story short, that 1 year has now become 38 years. Our program, has grown in ways that I wish it hadn't, because the problem of homelessness has become complex and and seemingly intractable in so many of our big cities. So we have a lot to do, and I urge any of you who are interested in housing and education and nursing and medicine to think about the needs that this population really has. In the lesson, I'm nervous, but as I told you, in 1960, we would never have listened to anyone over 30 give you any advice. So forgive me on this one, okay? But I would gently offer you to be patient and vigilant, okay? As my favorite professor used to say, remain dynamically present to the cosmic unfolding, because you never know what's coming next. Just be ready. Cherish each moment and experience, listen to your heart, defy convention, laugh a lot, okay? And above all, as you have learned here at this wonderful college, be kind and caring to yourselves and those around you. So let me end with one more story that I was debating to do, but we learned, in our program, learned a lot from this woman whose name was Constance. She lived on the streets of downtown near South Station, and she used to surround herself with the smelliest things you could imagine. She would buy gallons of milk and let them sit there for months. Eggs, she would have hard-boiled eggs, just leave them there for days. And that was her way to keep you and us away. It was her protection. And she called herself a bag lady, and she always wore the filthiest clothes possible. And to make a very long story short, she eventually got sick. We had brought her to Mass General Hospital, and she ended up with hepatitis C and cirrhosis of the liver. And the only way she could live was to have a transplant of her liver. But no one would do this because she was living on the streets and out of control and was a heavy drinker. So she agreed to come to our McGinnis House, which is a respite program for homeless people. And she came and she really kept it together. She spent 6 months at our place, and we would send to the surgeons every week that she was sober and prove to them that she had some residential stability. I can't believe that's what they called it. And as it was near the end of those 6 months and she was getting up to the top of the list, she called me in one Sunday morning. I was over there, and she said, "Doc, would you take my picture?" And up until that point, we didn't take pictures of homeless people. We thought that was invasive or voyeuristic, and we didn't want to take advantage of people. But she got all dressed up. She had some linen dress that she had gotten, put lipstick on, put her hair up in a bun, fingernail polish. She looked stunning, had nice shoes, and she went outside, picked some flowers, and she put them in the styrofoam cup by her bedside bed at our thing. And I took the picture with the only throwaway. This is before we had pictures on our cameras, so we had to get cameras in those days, pictures on our phones, excuse me. And so I took the picture and I brought it back to her that afternoon, put it in a little thing. And I was going to become an oncologist. I was interested in end-of-life care, so I was convinced she was afraid of dying. She's facing this big surgery, liver transplantation. So I said, "Do you want to talk about what's going on?" And she looked at me like I was a little crazy. And she said, "Oh, Doc," she said, "I've been living outside for 27 to 28 years. I face death every single night." She said, "And most nights, to be honest, I would welcome death." She said, "This isn't about that." And then she went on to tell me this, which I would urge you to keep in your mind. She said, "I have 2 daughters. One was 3 and one was 5 when I last saw them 25 or 26 years ago." She said, "What I want is a picture that in case one of them should go looking for their birth mother, it's a picture of someone they might be a little bit proud of." And she hit a nerve for us that, we all go through this life wanting to leave a mark, wanting to leave an impression. Homeless people are exactly as we are. They are like us. What was fascinating to me about that, though, I came back a couple days later to the respite program, and there were 22 people who asked me to take their portraits. And in our program now, as you probably saw when you came over, we have portraits of people up. And it's the exact opposite of what we would have thought. We would have thought people were trying to hide, be away, be anonymous. But in fact, most people want to tell their stories, and they want you to be willing to listen. So I'd finish by saying, I remember one of the things that everybody always asks us, and Barbara McGinnis used to help us with, is what do you do when you see a homeless person outside asking for money, asking for something? And I think there's a simple answer that Barbara and the nurses came up with that we have lived by, is you probably can't give money to everybody, maybe shouldn't, or you can make that own decision yourself. But it's very important to look somebody in the eye and say, how you doing? Sorry, I don't have any money today, or give them a Dunkin' Donut or something. But look them in the eye, because I think we have several homeless people on our board of directors, and what they will tell you is the worst thing in our society is to feel invisible. So I'd urge you, as one act of kindness, say hello, look people in the eye and just say hello to them. You don't have to give them anything. But I think that taught us our common humanity. So I'm going to conclude, okay, by just wishing you very exciting lives, maybe full of balance, promise, failure, compassion, love, all of those things. Absolutely cherish your family and friends, because I can promise you at the end of your lives, it will be your family and friends who you hold on to. And you've been given now this remarkable, and as I'm learning, even more remarkable than I had understood, education here at Emmanuel. And now it's your turn to give that back. Give that back to people around you, especially to those who are vulnerable, excluded, lonely, and shunned by society. So we desperately, in our world, need you. Okay, so I'm humbled, very proud about each of you, what you have accomplished here at Emmanuel, and I offer, like Albert Einstein, my heartfelt congratulations and all the success in the future to you. Thank you so much, and enjoy this weekend of celebration.
President Boyd, upon the recommendation of the faculty, it is now my privilege to present you the candidates who have fulfilled all of the requirements for the following degrees. First, from our graduate and professional programs: Master of Business Administration, Master of Education, Master of Science in Human Resource Management, Master in Science in Management, Master of Science in Nursing, Master of Science in Research Administration, Bachelor of Science in Business Administration, and Bachelor of Science in Nursing. Then from our traditional arts and sciences: Bachelor of Arts, Bachelor of Fine Arts, and Bachelor of Science. Will the degree candidates please rise and come forward? Sophie S. Casaletto. Loredana D'Agostino. Jamad H. Finn. Jasmine Nalani Flores. Michael John Mencio. Kyle Da Silva Pereira. Karina Lopez Pina. Michaela Abajudi Quirk. Daniela Higuera. Madeline Rita Johnson. Julia Marie McNeil. Caroline Grace O'Brien. Abigail Tringali. Gabrielle Faith Wink. Augustina Wigiran Idahor. Brandy Lynn Negron. Paula Robinson. Kylia Jordan Texera. Dolores Balabe. Julie Elizabeth Brodney. Wilfred Cadet. Ashley Rose Coppin-John. Jessica Ribeiro Miranda Correa. Geisha Flores. Lanisha Kenyatta Harrison. Jamila K. Hobbs. Natasha Morose. Joanne L. Smith. Claire Tongao. Shadia Guled Abdullahi. Madeline Marie Abed. Molly Albert. Marielle Alexandra Alvarez Fernandez. Marielle's diploma will be presented by her father, Dr. Jose Alvarez Fernandez. Marian Estefania Amador Reyes. Megan Catherine Amsler. Samuel Joseph Anzidi. Renee Auger. Margaret A. Alt. Peter Bilatacci Avila. Anil Suzanne Bai. Tyler Armani Balcom. Caitlin Morgan Barker. Tess Eileen Barton. Griffin Michael Bean. Ayana Faith Belmar. Antonia Benedetti Cordoba. Jacqueline Barrett Benish. Alana Margaret Bergen. Grace Barrios. Christian Robert Bettinelli. Dugmawi Benya. Hannah Faith Biji. Alexander J. Blades. Olivia Marie Bollerino. Michael Tomas Borelli. Annabelle Rose Boyer. Madeline Claire Bradley. Isabella Bucci. Carly Hayes Bunkenmeyer. Mary Kathleen Burns. Catherine Ahern Butwill. Elizabeth Grace Cameron. Arden Kanuchati. Talia Mireen Caprera. Bailey Jordan Carew. Aaron Cassidy Carroll. Anna Carter. Caroline Taylor Casey. Megan Rose Cassidy. Andrea Castillo Campion. Brianna Nicole Castro. Ryan Michael Cave. Alexa Mercedes Chambers. Samantha Laj Chavez. Elizabeth Winifred Kyriella. Caitlin Chrisimer. Charlotte Champa. Madeline Elizabeth Claffey. Rachel Lindsay Cohen. Mariah Joan Colbert. Megan Rose Comiskey. Joseph J. Cordelito. Michael Cornish. Colleen Francis Coulter. Jaden Kathleen Cove. Madison Lee Crudell. Miam Jordan Da Cruz. Julia Elizabeth Daggett. Jacob Conrad Declerk. Aoife Angela Delaney. Kathleen Marie DeMeo. Ariana Dinardi. Gabriella DePietro. Olivia May DiStefano. Morgan Olivia Dodge. Magali Dominguez Partida. Justin Reese Donnelly. Sean Michael Doughty. Isabella Yolando Drago. Catherine G. Elliott. Roman Anthony Fabrizio. Bridget Kelly Fairweather. Eliana M. Fallur. Victoria Rose Falso. Maeve Brenna Famularo. Sophie Marie Farrell. Caroline Eileen Ferdenzi. James Fernandez. McKenna Nicole Feely. Glenn Philippi. Charlotte Beverly Feiner. Olivia Fiorini. Emily Margaret Flannery. Mara Margarita Flynn. Summer Rebecca Fogg. Sarah Marie Fortin. Henry Joseph Fox. Gwendolyn Ruth Freeman. Taylor Freeman. Allison Rose Fry. Jenna Nicole Galuska. Jared Anthony Gambino. Olivia Rachel Gangwer. Lauren Elizabeth Garcia. Benjamin Edward Gately. Madeline Elaine Gayer. Ricky Vito Girardi. Fiona Mary Gill. Chauvin Gilmore. Elena Isabel Giusti. Keela Goncalves. Maeve Marie Gratin. Isabel DeBello Gray. Sky Kylie Gribben. Faith Erin Griffin. Rachel Ann Grove. Emma Ryan Grove Griffith. Danielle Gutierrez. Ava Grace Haig. Anna Hajnasser. Elise Marie Hall. Claire Margaret Hallamore. Amina Hamdi. Timothy Hanley. Kadar Heben. Nicole Rita Henniger. Rocio Itzel Hernandez Chavez. Madeline Ketsana Huot. Melina Rachana Huot. Dana Christina Hurley. Tamisha Alana Husbands. Daniel Koch Impeliziri. Jared Riley Eisler. Sonali Jean. Joshua Jean Charles. Kendrick Jean-Francois. Mike Alance Jean-Louis. Samantha Nicole Jandro. Douglas Charles Jones Jr. Samantha Mae Jones. Kayla Jordan. Sarah Marie George. Brendan J. Cade. Emma Catherine Kane. Tyler Kaplinger. Kelly Ann Kazorik. Maeve Aylin Keene. William Garrett Keating. Ariana Isabel Keefe. Julia Ryan Kehoe. Avery Parker Kelleher. Catherine Miriam Kelleher. Daniel Patrick Kelly. Nicole Elizabeth Kendall. Jacqueline Elizabeth Kennedy. Nikhil Kote. Abdur Rahman Kawaja. Jeremy Alexander Knox. Mariana Ali Kordowski. Andrew J. Katarski. Angela Noel Kasudi. Emma Jean Leboisiere. Joshua David Lane. Cole Lander. Hannah Evelyn Lay. Brandon Alejandro Leary. Catherine Grace Leland. Matthew Gerard Lemansky. Michaela Alexis Lenahan. Gabrielle M. Letendre. Tatiana Elise Linares. Lauren Mary Liscotti. Nicole Loshi. Olivia Bonnet Lombard. Charlena Lopez. Mackenzie A. Lucy. Aiden McLeod. Maria Teresa Manuel. Jonathan Marmolejo. Reginald Todd Martin. Allison Grace May. Joshua Ryan McDonald. Nathan McKee. Riley Thomas McMahon. Megan Riley McMillan. Anthony Jofis Melchionda. Eneas Alid Mendez Jr. Isabella Ann Marina. Kylie Miller. Jack Robert Minas. Dion Rose Moy. Liam Montano. Serena Mora. Brendan Patrick Mosier. Karina Victoria Munoz. Noelle Katrina Natale. Sean Anthony Noosh. Arden Neves. Ellen Margaret Nolan. Rachel Elizabeth Norris. Elena She Northrup. Ingrid Jensen Odell. Alex Oliver. Pauline Anastasia Achien Ojiro. Davina Sokun Odnorn. Corinne P. Osgood. Cassandra Alicia Wale. Miley Ann Pallavicini. Maria Isabel Palazuelos. Devin John Perot. Hannah Florence Pepin. Catherine Rose Percy. Casey Janice Phillips. Shelda Phoebe Pierre. Isabel Marie Pitney. Emma Grace Portanova. M. Ariel Pudel. Declan Henry David Power. Kira Marie Prendergast. Christina Angela Pulio. Ray Rama. Vanessa Christine Renee. Sarah Elizabeth Rivas. Kayla Naomi Reynosa. Angela Jane Rezuk. Camila Maria Rivera Sikafi. Sophia Robinson. Erin Christina Rosa. Shannon Margaret Ross. Elise Rossetier. Mia Anderson Rowell. Christina Mariette Roy. Sophia Elizabeth Rusciano. Elise Gabrielle Sukoshia. Olivia Merritt Salmon. Grace Angelica Mercedes Santana. Alyssa Santangeli. Christian Sarandria. Benjamin Jerome Savage. Oliver Henry Schiff. Melissa A. Shermer. Elizabeth Margaret Schwer. Madel Sayed. Julia Rose Senna. Grace Jacqueline Shamal. Carrie Ann Shea. Michelle Grace Sheehan. Riley Rebecca Sheehan. Joseph Sylvie. Claudia Esther Skolaski. Josiah D. Sleeper. Lauren Maria Smith. Emma Taylor Smolinski. Carly Marie Snyder. Elena Grace Speroni. Olivia Catherine Steves. Elizabeth Leslie Steinberg. Asia M. Sullivan. Julia Sullivan. Nicholas John Zum. Ashley Marie Terranova. Jonathan Torres Lopez. Christine Min Hien Tran. Julia Beth Vachon. Simona A. Valderrama Cano. Quinn Maritza Lorraine Valdivia. Brooke Ann Van Accoy. Drew Vangel. Avery L. Van Loo. Peter Michael Vanini. Valerie Ray Santiago Villegas. Damon Robert Ware. Shannon Waters. Jacqueline Elizabeth Webb. Theodore Francis Weber. Christopher Moore Webster. Garnet Elizabeth Welsh. Molly Winship. Catherine Irene Wood. Ariana Alexa Yanni. Jade Catherine Zink. Philip Salvatore Zangi IV. Anna Bach. Maria Angela Caserta. Grace Elizabeth Collins. Abigail Darling. Charlotte Valentine Foss. Sophia Marie Gilbert. Julia Rose Hemmingstad. Madeline Hendricks. Elizabeth Maria Kelleher. Briere Yvette King. Jacob C. McAdam. Dante Reyes Ortiz. Victoria Mary Slattery. Tosiah Texera. Megan Hannah Tooley. Maya Majed Abdallah. Ula Yasir Ali. Roxna Anton. Viola Apia Dankwa. Zina Asante. Kathleen Tenapur Atuane. Gianna L. Bedoya. Cole Berry. Liza Marie Bobka. James Edward Baksansky. Emily Lynn Borges. Caroline Grace Branca. Megan Elizabeth Butcher. Glory Priscilla Cabral. Catherine Frances Caraccia. Andrew Cavallero. Queenie Chung. Sophia Olga Chirigotis. Brianna Chu. Mary Kate Clarity. Rachel Ann Coleman. Tatiana Philippa Cuna Carrera. Michelle Patrice Costanzo. Amy Catherine Covino. Denali Cassin Cruteau. Caitlin Cullen. Chloe Tong Dang. Saria Grace Danielle. Victoria Da Silva. Tiana Elizabeth Daw. Ariana Rose Dueso. Emma Grace DePietrio. Colleen Donahoe. James Lawrence Donahue. Matthew Christopher Doran. Bridget McDonald Drummy. Fiore Delia. Sydney Jonelle Edouard. Nicholas Jackson Eline. Isabella Rose Erickson. Catherine Naisha Facenda Castillo. Elisa Jane Vielhauer. Jacqueline Rose Ferreira. Reese Fletcher. Kendra Flint. Erica Gauscher. Audrey Scarlett Gervais. Jessica Lynn Grant. Allison Elizabeth Hanlon. Danira Alexandra Hernandez. Madison Olivia Honeywell. Angel Hunt. Jenna Irene Yakabuchi. Juliet Yanashevsky. Julia Olga Yapo. Casey China Jiang. Sophia May Jobin. Brianna Nicole Jones. Haley Christine Kahn. Joseph Jack Kanan. Julia Gretchen Cavill. Morgan Louise Knauer. Emma Catherine Knight. Cecilia Margaret Kirstein. Haley A. LaRose. Caitlin Me Lee. Anthony Longdergan. Haley Ann Lowe. Lucia Giovanna Magno. Catherine V. Manning. Patrick Christian Mannion. Bethany Lynn Martin. Ryan Patrick McCain. Catherine Rose McCarthy. Hannah Megan McLear. Justin Mejia. Isabella Miller. Summer Eliza Miller. Vun Tuyet Nguyen. William Nickerson. Lila Rose Niederberger. Connor M. Noonan. Hunter A. Noyes. Caroline Rodriguez Oliveira. Shay Mary O'Rahili. Vanessa Marie Ortega. Julianne H. Pacheco. Simran Paget. Abigaili Madison Palick. Luke Foster Maroney Patriquin. Sheridan Irene Pinkham. Hayden Pontus. Marjorie Alina Portillo. Kate Nicole Public. Gloria Dayon Peon. Rachel B. Ringler. Ruby Amaret Roberge. Mackenzie Rose Roach. Maggie Mae Roach. Brianna Ann Lene Rossini Bimon. Julia Nicole Ryan. Gary Edward Short, Jr. Marianne Sontalongo Serret. Megan Taylor Steele. Stephanie Lee Strongy. Megan Mary Swindon. Jocelyn Victoria Tierney. Rebecca Marie Tran. Vivian Tran. Riley Renee Vaughn. Mackenzie Elise Vieira. Madison Riley Weber. Hunter N. Yearsley. Samantha Thomas Zidon. And Madison Caney Zing. Will all of the new Emmanuel College degree candidates please rise for the conferral of your degrees by President Boyd.
By virtue of the powers delegated to me by the Commonwealth of Massachusetts and by the trustees of Emmanuel College, I hereby confer upon the class of 2023 of Emmanuel College the following degrees with all the rights and privilege that pertain thereto. Master of Business Administration, Master of Education, Master of Science in Human Resource Management, Master of Science in Management, Master of Science in Nursing, Master of Science in Research Administration, Bachelor of Science in Business Administration, Bachelor of Science in Nursing, Bachelor of Arts, Bachelor of Fine Arts, and Bachelor of Science.
A round of applause for all of our graduates. Loredana D'Agostino and Mike Jean-Louis will now lead the graduates in the traditional turning of the tassels, symbolizing their reception of their graduate degrees. Will all graduates please stay standing for the turning of the tassel? One, two, three. Now, while all of the graduates are standing, I invite you to turn around and give a round of applause to your family, your friends, and all of your loved ones celebrating here today, and thank them for their support. It is my pleasure to welcome back Lauren Garcia to lead us in singing the alma mater. We ask the entire audience to please stand and join in.
Alma mater, honored mother, guardian of our youth, guiding hands with thee we stand upon the way of truth. Emmanuel, we hail thee, thy glorious deeds untold. We pledge our loyalty to thee. 'Neath thy banners of blue and gold.
Please be seated. Note for next year, everyone wants to keep standing. On behalf of the college, I extend congratulations to the members of the class of 23 and thank their guests for sharing this occasion with us. We ask the audience to kindly remain in place until the platform party, faculty, and graduates have exited the tent. President Boyd will now conclude our ceremony.
As president of the college, I hereby declare that the 101st commencement exercises of Emmanuel College are now closed.
You want to do another run of pomp? Is that what you just said?
Nightingale.
Sorry, Dana.
As you would say, wah, wah.
Wah, wah.